are here with our episode number 2 podcast. We are following up from our first podcast, which was Marketers Are Liars with Seth Godin also. So we're excited to dive into Purple Cow following Marketers Are Liars. So we'll start with traditional marketing isn't working anymore.
It's true.
The old circle of buy ads, get distribution, sell product, buy ads, get distribution, and on and on and on, no longer pays.
Yeah.
So what Seth's saying is the solution. What he's saying is what you need to do is build your brand as a remarkable product or service. Truly, the Purple Cow is a remarkable product or service.
Right. Even just like, at the beginning of the book, he talks about like, driving through the scenery, you might be passing all these cows and it's like, wow, that's a really nice looking cow. And after a while, a cow's a cow and everything starts to look the same. And maybe it was remarkable or noticeable at first, and then it becomes normal and just boring. But if you were to continue driving and you saw a purple cow, that's going to stand out to you and that's going to become something remarkable that grabs your attention.
That is, I couldn't have said it any better, because that's truly the foundation and truly the whole structure of the book, Remarkable Cow, and just using that idea throughout the whole book.
Right.
So is what we got from it is Purple Cow argues the only way to cut through the hyper clutter of products and advertising today is to innovate something new, unique, and remarkable. Like a purple cow, like we're talking about. And so I would love to hear your response. This is where I really, really believe that he talks and gets into the nuts and the bolts of it. Successful brands like IKEA, Starbucks, SAP, Krispy Kreme, JetBlue, Google are all built on remarkable products that get talked about. And I really believe that getting talked about is just as important as understanding what the Purple Cow is, remarkable product or service.
Right.
But the true, at the end of the day, I guess I should say, the true nuggets out of this is that word of mouth advertising comes from a Purple Cow, remarkable product or service.
Right.
So IKEA, everybody talks about it. Obviously, they have to do some advertising, but really, ultimately, what it is it's the story that IKEA has to tell. And they tell their friends, and they tell their friends their friends.
Most of my furniture in my house is IKEA.
So and so you can probably contest to that. When you have your friends over for group and family events and just different adult friend events, do you guys ever talk about IKEA?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's exactly what makes it so successful. What about Starbucks? And I know that's an older name, but obviously the passion from the CEO founder of what he started has been remarkable. Yeah. Do you drink Starbucks?
I do.
Chance?
Yeah. I mean, that's my go-to coffee place if I'm going to get something, unless I'm trying to be super local and go to something really unique. I'll go downtown Chico and go to something like that. But typically, I'm going to Starbucks. If I want coffee, if we're heading out of town, we're going for a drive, I got a meeting, it's going to be at Starbucks.
See, and that's Krispy Kreme is one of the stories he really talks about that I really like, and it goes back to this word of mouth that I really believe is important, because he talks about how they get to the rural people and how they really, and so what Krispy Kreme's marketing plan is, and this is just brilliant, is that they make sure that they take it to every gas station, in every corner store, in every area that they're getting ready to move into. So is what they do is they start that long before they open up a Krispy Kreme. They just have an amazing plan, and they understand that word of mouth is just the most amazing and effective form of advertising. So I really love, and I believe that we should talk a little bit more as we go through this with Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, I was visiting my brother in Petaluma, just like a month ago, I think, and we were going to Chick-fil-A, and there was we pulled up to it, and there's this huge line of cars like out into the street all the way through the parking lot, and a Krispy Kreme had just opened, and it was that drive-through just for Krispy Kreme. And it's like still people are lining up for Krispy Kreme when they open.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it goes, you know, one of the most amazing stories, you know, talking about marketers are liars, is the Riddell wine glass story.
Right.
And so much of it, and that's where, you know, I love Seth Godin is because they all tie together.
Right.
But that kind of goes with the same kind of theory as Krispy Kreme.
Right.
You know, they've really tied into the right authentic story to the worldview of that donut lover.
Yeah.
And they tell the story and they line up out the door like you cannot believe, just as you're saying. The one that I'd love to talk about the most, and you're going to always have to cut me off, is Google. And it's just funny that you find it here in the remarkable area.
Right.
For me, Google is what makes all of our conversations even possible. Not just is it a remarkable product, and that it had the word of mouth and that it deserves to be here up on this chart, but it's really what allows us to even have these conversations. What's happened in marketing and what makes the Purple Cow so relevant even today is that the TV marketing and the mass media and the mass newspapers and all this advertising that lasted for, you know, 100 years doesn't work today.
Yeah, that's the traditional marketing he was talking about.
The traditional marketing that he's talking about is really mass marketing, TV and newspapers. Radio, you could throw in there. Radio still has some relevancy, at least in comparison to TV and the newspapers.
Yeah.
But just this idea that you can, you know, go out and mass market and mass advertise and expect your products to sell just based upon marketing to the mass market does not work today. And Google is the one that's really made that change possible, allowing us to not just put them up on this chart, but to really segment and target and really specifically hone in on our clients and even just independent business owners, their own clients in their own markets, and to really make marketing relevant to the people that want the advertising instead of just all this mass clutter.
Right. And that's exactly what we do in our business, you know, at Results Media, is we're trying to get our clients to reach their ideal customer and people that actually want their products and want what they're selling. And that, you know, is when he's talking about the traditional media, we used to just throw everything up on TV and radio and hit everybody. And then a small portion of that group of people would actually be interested. But now with Google, really starting that targeted marketing and all that tracking and everything, now we can actually market specifically to people who are going to be interested in that product. And I would say Facebook is right up there with them now too.
Absolutely. And to take that even farther, and we'll talk more about this, but is what I love about the specifics of Seth and what I love about what we're able to do with Results Media is to actually slow down, hone in, and really get our clients to understand their market and their audience specifically, really get into the demographics, but understand their clients' worldview and what's important to them, and to come up with messaging and the I guess you'd call advertising, but what people want to know. Authentic stories, not the sizzle, but the actual authentic story and what people really want to hear. So what I was hoping to do today, Grayson, is to kind of just go through some of the questions that we'd like to ask our own clients and when we sit down with them, and just to kind of, and I really believe this just brings huge amount of value to any business owner, founder, CEO, and really kind of give them some questions to think about and some reflections from our side, and see what you think, and go from there. How does that sound?
I think that's good. You know, going into that, I think just one thing that he said that I thought was really interesting is he said most people can't buy your product. And so the old rules don't apply. So we can't just market to everybody. We have to market specifically to those people. And I love that he said marketing is dead, you know? And so I think that's a perfect segue into these questions, because these are the questions we have to ask our clients. And if you have a business or anything you market, you have to ask yourself these questions so you can actually reach people and get your product in the right hands.
Well, and really down to him, and you said that marketing is dead and advertising. You're going to hear, and everybody reads about how advertising marketing is dead and all these things. To a certain truth, there's always some truth to it.
Sure.
Now, I don't believe in it completely, but I do believe in that there's challenges and issues in marketing and advertising today. And I really believe what we do and what we believe in is to really figure out the demographics, all those situational basics, but to get their worldview.
Right.
And to hone in on who's the opinion leaders of that worldview.
Yeah.
And that's the people specifically that we're going to market to. It's a very small group.
Right.
It becomes much more cost effective.
Yeah.
And we're going to build word of mouth advertising through that, and to really get to the people that we know through our research and understanding that are going to go out and word of mouth and really help spread the word of our clients' products and services. So I just really love how he just all ties it together.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the first one.
Okay.
So think about the current leader in your market. If you could change just one thing about it in order to make it more remarkable, what would that be? I would love to talk about one of our clients being Professional Education Center.
Sure. Love PEC.
So, and because I know that they have a remarkable product, and for our client base or our audience right now to understand is Professional Education Center is they educate and certify nurses because nurses need certification every 2 years.
Right.
This group is very passionate. They understand their why. They have an amazing product. I won't get into all the details, but let's just assume for this conversation that they do have an amazing service, and I'm telling you that they do, and I believe, Grayson, you know that they do. So what do you think that could help them become more remarkable with their product or really their service?
Sure. And, I do agree. I think they do have an incredible product. Just talking with them and the passion behind their why and why they do everything that they do, and training and certification and helping nurses and midwives. Like it's a big deal. They literally are helping save lives. And I think, because their why is so relevant and passionate, that's why we want to work with people like that.
Absolutely.
But I think, as we started to work with them and help them create content and look at what they already have, one of the stumbling blocks has been even their website, and just the way the information is displayed and how the potential customer comes to actually getting their product can be a little clunky. And so we want to come in there and help clear that up and make it a simple path for the people that have the same mission, the same why, and want what they have to offer, and make it easy for them to get that.
So I'm so glad that you went exactly there, because I really believe that for them specifically, not everybody, but very often this is common for many businesses, is that your experience through the whole website, from the whole lead generation now, is part of the user experience.
Yeah.
And how they get through that experience becomes part of your product or service.
Yeah.
And I really believe that to have a remarkable product or service, you got to have a user-friendly and a fun, exciting experience.
Yeah.
And today that's digital in many situations. Yeah. And in this one, our client has a digital experience from the lead generation to the point of purchase is all digital.
Yeah.
And I know that, just like you said, their actual service and seminars are incredible. And what I really believe is, and I really believe that we're helping them and we're really going to take them to the next level, is to really bring out that whole user experience that their customer base.
Right.
And so I really believe that that's important to become remarkable today, is to understand the whole experience from when they first are touched by your company to the point of being purchased to actually experiencing the product and the follow through.
Yeah.
So the next one's really great. And word of mouth, all of it starts to really, and these are just at the beginning, but we got so many good ones, but this one's just amazing. Infectious products are easy to try and buy. Mm-hmm. They're easy to recommend for a defined community, especially. They're part of a trend rather than a fad. So with that, how would you tweak what you currently sell to make it more infectious? I just, to me, this is the key to most marketing campaigns that are successful.
Sure.
Today.
Yeah.
And this is how you create the word of mouth.
Yeah.
And I really believe that it goes right. I believe that this.
Yeah.
We've already answered the
I think
question
so, too.
ultimately, and how do we make for professional education centers? Let's just talk about them specifically.
Yeah.
Since it's very easy to do, it just kind of lends itself to it. Is that we make the experience much easier, and we get them into the classes. We already know through different data sources that people love the classes.
Right.
We know that they're the best
Yep.
seminars out there. So what do we need to do is we need to make the whole user experience more friendly, make it more exciting. So when they get to the class, before they've gotten sold on the actual amazing seminar, they're already excited.
Right.
They've had a good experience through the whole digital touch. And I really believe that that's how, and that's just one example, obviously.
Yeah, and I think, simplify is a good word to kind of put in front of each of those bullet points. So easy to try and buy. We need to simplify that process to try it out and to buy it. And then easy to recommend. How can we simplify it and make it easy for customers to recommend to other people? For each ABCD, how can we simplify each one of those processes?
It's incredible. The devil's in the details.
Right.
And I watch so many times with forms, people have them 5, 6 levels of required fields in a contact form. I watch multiple choices and call to actions.
Right.
Many different items that just make it so challenging for the user. Yeah. And not necessarily making it the easiest and fastest, most fun, exciting path for the customer. Right. And so these are all areas that are very, very critical for Remarkable or a Purple Cow. So the next one is, and just these are just getting amazing. Focus on 2 key groups who will drive your sales: highly profitable buyers and opinion leading buyers. What would you have to do to make what you sell remarkable to them?
That's good.
It is a great one. If you really study the bell curve, which is very important in marketing, very talked about item and book. It really talks about the opinion leaders. And for me, where I really get from here is for us, and what I really believe we believe in Results Media is to really hone in on the opinion leaders mostly. And what so many people want to do is they want to go at the highly profitable clients, and they want to advertise there. Just back in the day when it used to work, mass advertise to the mass audience and try to sell products to the mass audiences. And it just doesn't work today. So so the bell curve.
Yes.
So talking about the restaurant industry, some of the things you know that we can do, and I really believe going after the opinion leaders is always the best option. It's the most cost-effective way to market. It's the smallest market, but the most impactful, because they're the ones that generate the word of mouth campaign. So they're really critical to an effective marketing campaign. So you really want to focus on the opinion leaders. So let's take the restaurant industry. Some of the areas that we've done and had success with is doing some wine tasting and pairing. And what happens is you go after that industry that really writes articles and really talks to their friends. They're the ones that are really into that industry, and they follow all of the wine tours and
foodies.
And you get and we get the foodies, and you also get the wineries there, and you get all these high-end vendors there, and you make these events. What happens is you end up getting those opinion leaders,
right? And
a lot of restaurants blow it off, and it's just because they don't see the return on the investment that day, and it doesn't make sense that day.
Sure.
But what they don't understand is that is the most effective way to get to your opinion leaders. Your word of mouth, grassroots advertising. It's always the most effective.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's kind of what I get from it.
Yeah, especially, opinion leading buyers. So they're going to have audiences that follow them and trust their opinion. So when they experience something that they share, you're going to gain a significant portion of their audience right off the bat.
And that is the most effective advertisement because it's authentic. It's not paid. It's not coming from an agency like us. It's not coming from any source. that isn't neutral. It's a very neutral environment, and it really has impact because of that.
Right.
And so when you're able to really create a great marketing campaign that hones in on that and really brings that out, is that your return on investment is just far better.
Yeah.
Than when you don't really concentrate on that opinion leader and get those people, just like you're saying, is to get their followers and to get their bases.
Yeah. And, you know, I feel like so much of this book goes along with Gary Vee and everything that he talks about, and, you know, influencer marketing. And it doesn't have to be huge. Like, you can find somebody on Instagram who has 200, 500, 1,000 followers, but is in your field, and then, like, you know, offer them something to where it's mutual, and they try your product, and if they like it, then they share it, and you talk about their product because you like it, and you could just start to grow small, and it can be significant.
Absolutely. And there is a whole side to influencer marketing, not necessarily just specific to it's really not opinion leaders, but there are people that it's the same ideology, though, that have created this mass marketing niche of influence leaders, and we'll get more into that.
We should do a podcast on that.
We should do a podcast on that. And just like I was saying earlier, this is going to be a tough one to get through. This is because there's so much great information here.
It's such a short book, but it's got so much good stuff in it.
It's got so much good stuff. Yeah, exactly. Especially for specifically, I'd say, the mid-sized business. This is really... a lot of the bigger companies are using this technology. They have consultants. They have Seth Godin in their business already. But for the mid-sized businesses that aren't today using this technology and don't have access to it, really can't tell you how important that this kind of questions and understanding of your business is critical to success today.
Right.
So the next one, make a list of competitors who are not trying to be all things to all people.
Sure.
Can you find another unserved niche to target? And I don't know if I want to get into the specifics of our clients on this one, but it does raise some good questions, especially for a startup that you know, if you don't already have a product and you don't already have a specific area, you know, and you're really wanting to start up. It's a great way to brainstorm and create those ideas.
Right.
So the next, imagine you gave your innovation brief to a world-class designer. What would they do different? Like if and I wrote some notes, and I'm curious.
It's a good question.
The great creative. So I'm just going to say what I wrote
here
and see what you think. With you being the creative guy, but for me, the guy that likes the touch feel.
Sure.
So what I wrote is that they would write, okay, for our ads and for what we do as an advertising agency is where this comes from.
Right.
So to us specifically as an ad agency, we would, he would want us to match the perfect audio, video, the perfect audio, visual, and touch experience technically available today. From the most amazing cardstock on your business card to quick loading bold video with audio that draws out emotion of the message that the message is intended to create.
Yeah, I think that's all good stuff. And part of that goes back to the devil's in the details, like you were talking about. If you can set yourself apart through some of those details and be remarkable, I think you just stand out automatically. That's the purple, right? That's the purple and the purple cow. You can set yourself apart by doing something that's different and remarkable and standing out.
I think what we have can actually stand out even without that. What I just said.
I do too.
I like all of that. Don't get me wrong, because that's me. I like the touch and feel of Apple products. I love the feel. But at the end of the day, I really believe what we have is an authentic story to tell, and to take our clients' authentic story and get it out of them and tell it.
I agree. That's where I was going to go next. Yeah, because I think part of what makes us remarkable is that we're so concerned with telling the authentic story of each of our clients and making sure we use the best methods available to do that. Like, there's no cookie cutter application we're going to apply to any one of the businesses we represent or market for. Like, we're going to study them. We're going to understand their audience. We're going to understand their emotional triggers, all that stuff, you know, that Seth Godin talks about, that Gary Vee talks about, that Simon Sinek talks about. We actually put effort into doing that for each of our customers. And I think that is remarkable.
Absolutely. Can't disagree with that at all. I really believe that. So think about what the market leader is doing and then focus on doing the opposite. And what I wrote down here is what I got from him over and over. And what I like about this question is what he's really pushing people to is be different.
Yes.
Don't just try to go take the wheel and improve it a little bit and expect great results.
Yeah.
You got to go out and do something different.
Right.
And so that's where I think that really kind of gets your brain to start thinking, you know, go and think about the opposite.
Right.
Just trying to do the same thing and
it's not going to work.
Better results.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many companies doing everything, you know. If you're not doing something different, then you're just going to get lost.
Absolutely.
Just another cow.
It's just another cow. And I'm so glad you brought up the story because I love him when he's talking about just driving through the story. The opposite of remarkable is very good. This is something.
Oh yeah, that's good.
And I because very good is bland.
Right.
This is the perfect, true understanding of what he means by a purple cow. If he's going to say that very good is bland, that's what he's really talking about.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
Right.
And I loved how he said that. So what would you do to turn a very good product into a truly remarkable product? And one point I want to make here is because so many people, and as you read the book and as you even hear us talk, sometimes makes you think that you have to be a startup or creating a new product,
sure,
one or the other, or both. And that's not necessarily the truth. You can take a product that is a very good product and make it remarkable. Just the packaging, and we could talk about a lot of
sure
things. Just as we've talked about the website experience, just depending on where your product's at, what it is. And so I believe that's important to bring that up when we talk about this question. As with Professional Education Center, I really believe that their website, as we've already talked about, their leaders, and making sure that they have the best instructors, making sure that they actually have the best experience, not just as we've talked about the website, the lead generation, the landing page loading very fast, the video being, as we talked about, very visual, very emotional, very appealing audio, but to actually have the follow through, you actually have to really, to make the story truly authentic, it actually has to be followed through with implementation. Yeah. You actually have to have to be true authentic. You actually have to have the best instructors. You actually have to have the complete follow through to be truly remarkable. Right. And I really believe that you have to listen to your customer base. And so I really believe that surveys and Survey Monkeys and all of that really help you figure out what it is what you need to do to be remarkable. Yeah, I agree. I think, going back to our last podcast, just having the authentic story is one way you can at least start to become remarkable. Because if you're not telling an authentic story, then you're not going to stand out. If you're not being true to yourself, you're not gonna be remarkable. You're in it for the wrong reason. So I think, when you are telling your own story, it's authentic. There's only one you. There's only one version of your why. And so if you tell that's the best starting point for setting yourself apart. Well, and it's funny you say. I really believe what our what makes us remarkable is that we go out and we find people that care and are passionate. Yeah. They actually have a remarkable product or service already. Sure. They're just having a harder time actually delivering that message and creating that authentic story in a palatable way, in a way that, that their client base and their client base's worldview and all fits in and all comes to fruition. Yeah. But it is all about being authentic. And really trying to find the truth in that process. Right. throughout.
Yeah. And that's not even to say that our clients aren't selling, because they're doing well, but we can come in and help clean that up, make it a little more clear, make that whole experience a little bit better.
Well, and I'm glad that you say that, because he's really saying very good. Yes,
right.
There's companies out there doing very good, and a company financially is usually pretty darn rewarding.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you're remarkable.
That's right. Exactly.
And that doesn't mean that you're really fulfilling all of your emotional triggers yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
Even in yourself. What makes us happy is true success. Is it just financial? I really believe that the people that we represent and the people that we seek are the people that are more so going to be gratified from true success.
That's true.
Of having it much bigger than themselves, and not just financial rewarding, but have an impact and having those successes. Yeah. And that's the difference between remarkable and very good. You can be very good at something, but to be remarkable is a whole nother level.
Right.
And that is exactly what I believe that we chase as a company, and kind of what we're talking about. And hopefully the people that are going to probably be listening to this podcast at this level, this far into it, are those people.
Right.
That's the good news for us.
Yes.
Packaging is a great subject for me, because to me, packaging is where the art really starts.
I love it. Yeah.
And to me, packaging is art.
Yes.
And it can make a product remarkable. And so when we talk about having a product or service, and a lot of things that we do is reface it and really help to start to tell that authentic story. And that's where the art and the fun really becomes. Yeah. So
and that's even the website. That's packaging is everything that it looks like, that it feels like, that the user experiences.
So and it's funny, because a lot of people can argue technically, well, it's not material going around the actual product. But if you want to think about, as we have to, in the mindset, what you're saying is technically true, because we start digitally, even in the yacht industry, which we represent a lot of in the industry. We have a lot of understanding of that industry. Even $1 million, $2 million, $3 million yacht today starts online.
Sure.
And it's incredible how much of the relationship is created online before it transfers to in person. So today's experience is online, very much so, unlike it used to be. And so your website is a critical link to your remarkable product.
Yeah.
And it's very much so part of the packaging.
Right.
Because we used to walk down the grocery store aisle. We used to walk down the hardware store aisle, the toy store or the clothing store, and we see the product and the packaging and all of that. And that is all still relevant today.
Yeah.
But it's second to the website. They've already seen the website. They've already been exposed. And if you're not thinking the same way that we used to on packaging in the art, in the website, in the graphics, in the way to get them to the website, the way that the website feels, touches, the speed of it, and every aspect of it is part of the packaging. I can't agree more. And it's a very critical part of the product and the service.
I mean, even just thinking about Amazon, like, their site, but if you're going, there's so many sellers. If you're looking at a product and those photos suck, you're going to look for something different
on the same site.
Same site.
Very quickly. Absolutely.
How it's packaged makes a difference visually.
How it's packaged. Amazon is a great example to talk about the user experience. They started off selling books, and if you just look at their whole process, it's all about the user experience, and it's all about listening to surveys and figuring out the data and the trends. And what they do is they listen, even just through data and information, they listen to their clients and they give their clients what they want. And it's a very quick experience from shipping to use of time. They really understand their clients. They understand their worldview, and they give them exactly what they want. And Amazon is very good at that. So this one I love. If you were going to make a parody or a spoof of your product, what would it look like? This will give you a clue to what could be remarkable about your product. Now, for me, and I'll just tell you, because I loved this one.
Yeah.
I just, as soon as I read it. And when you're reading his book, he talks about how you got to be able to take constructive criticism.
Oh, yeah. He does talk about that.
And if you're really good, people will make fun of you.
Yeah.
They just will.
Of course.
If you've got a really good story, not everybody's going to like you. You can never, ever have everybody like you. Not
Right.
everybody's going to like your story. But if you get people making fun of you, you really have a good story.
Yeah.
And you have to have the confidence
Right.
and the ability to take that
Yeah.
with a grain of salt and with fun.
Yep.
So I think that's really what this question is about. And you got to think about that and kind of create your products to not be safe and to be risky and to try to go after that and to try to make your products, your service, and your messaging get made fun of.
Right.
Make a parody. And so for me, this is what I was envisioning in my sleep. I couldn't help. I thought about this at night. And if I got to make that video, it would be towards the yacht industry. It's the industry that I have the most experience in. And is what it would be. And in the yacht industry, nobody buys the actual boat itself. They buy the service. You really got to take care of that client. And so late at night sitting there thinking about this, what my thoughts were if I had to make a video of a parody would be a yacht broker. And like I was saying is that a yacht broker really has to take care of the client. It's not the actual boat that they're buying. It's the true service.
Yeah.
It's the lifestyle that comes along with owning the yacht.
Sure.
And so what I thought is this video, you got this guy fumbling around. They make arrangements to have their guests down, and they want a caterer and they want a captain. And you got this guy fumbling around, and he forgets to get the captain. He's calling everybody, and he finally gets, Captain Ron. And he's supposed to have a five-star chef. And before you know it, he's got the guy down at, the In-N-Out Burger. Well, I'll make it, and that's the only guy you can get for your 5-star chef. And you got Captain Ron driving the boat and hitting the docks and just absolutely making a mess out of all the service. And maybe the boat is great, but once again, what they're really buying is it's the service. It's no different than the Riddell wine glass.
Right.
They're truly buying the experience and that comes with the lifestyle of owning the yacht. And so I just thought of that. I don't know if you have something a little bit better than my little parody.
I don't think so. I mean,
but it's a fun thought. Just making fun of yourself.
Yeah. It's almost like what's the opposite of what you want to say? Figure that out, and then it might give you a more clear picture on what you should be saying.
Yeah, absolutely. So, imagine you are making a highly exclusive, limited edition of your product for your 20 best customers. And then what would that look like? And I'd thought a lot about that. And for me, what the answer should be, and I really question myself about the question, what I think the answer should be is that should be always what you sell. It should be the end result always.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's probably what he's trying to get across is like, what would you, if it was this big of a deal, your 20 best customers, exclusive limited edition, well, that should be your service then. That's just what should be. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what you should be selling always.
Yeah.
Giving always. Yeah.
What would you do if you wanted to make a collectible version of your product? It's a great one. Most of our products or clients are service based, but it's a very good question, and I really think people need to think.
Yeah.
So this next one, forget about demographics for a minute. List the big social networks and communities in your market. Associations, clubs, employees, institutions. Could you make a special edition of your product for one of these networks or communities? I really believe looking for special niches makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
And that's what he's really trying to get you to think.
Yeah.
from, professional education centers, we do, a lot of seminars.
Yep.
Our marketing and everything is catered specifically to the hospitals and the seminars that hospital needs for their nurses.
Right.
It is very specific and niche filled. A lot of our yachting campaigns and marketing and advertising is towards specifics. We'll do all kinds of events, and we'll go to a yacht club and have an event for them specifically catered to their base.
Right. And I think for PEC, like social network wise, we're looking at Facebook and Instagram primarily to reach those groups of nurses and to target the hospitals and figure out all of that. I know it's demographics, but right. When you say as far as social media,
well, what they're really talking about here, though, is to come up with your products and services. So we're really, we're talking about a remarkable product. And so what I think that he's really trying to...
So how do you tailor your product to fit that market?
To fit that market.
That makes sense.
And so let's say that you have a market and you want to get it somewhere. And so what PEC does is they have a product that they market to a specific association, a hospital association, that they know that this hospital needs to get these nurses certified.
Right.
So they're going to go ahead and advertise a specific product to that institution.
That makes sense.
And so that's what we really need. And they're a good example, to be honest. And I don't know if we do it well enough with our other clients. We should probably use that because that's a very specific solution for one of our clients.
Yeah.
But it's a great way for even us to think about other ideas for other clients, because there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's special niche. That's how you become the first to market, become the best in the market. There's many variables that are very valuable to such a small specific niche.
Yeah.
Remember convenience is king. So what could you do to make buying, using, consuming, or disposing easier?
Yeah, I feel like that kind of goes back to what we were touching on earlier with like the ABCD points. How can we make this simpler? How can we make it easier, streamline it?
Absolutely. And today we, as I touched on, from you go to buy a jar of butter to a $2 million yacht. You start digitally at all levels today. The website and the experience, to me, is very much so critical to the experience. When you talk about how do you make it user-friendly, buying and use, it starts with the website so often. Right. From restaurants to almost everywhere we go and almost everything we do, we Google it.
Right.
We start with a digital experience.
Yeah.
So for me, a digital experience, the website, what we talk about for Google ratings, a clean, clear, authentic story with clean, precise messaging. All of these are very critical steps, in my opinion, to a fun, friendly user experience.
Sure.
Another look at the top reason to recommend in your market. These are what makes products remarkable. So what could you do to own one of these reasons to recommend? And so what he's really talking about is this word of mouth.
Right.
What's going to get these opinion leaders to talk about your product or your service, really? Right?
Even just looking at PEC, it's like, well, what are people going to say? Like, what might a nurse say if they go and it's such a good experience, they want to share it? Like, what's that reason that they're going to recommend it? And it's like, man, I had a blast. It was like a vacation while I was getting certified. It was affordable. I had a great time. It was within my budget, whatever it's going to be. Like, I learned everything I needed to. I feel confident in my skills now in that area of my field. What's it going to be for your product that people are going to want to share? And then how do you make that a reality for what you're selling?
Absolutely. And that's where we do use Facebook to target in on those people.
Yeah.
And so what I'd kind of thought about, and it goes back to the podcast that we did for Denison Yachting, and Ed Bancroft was the broker that we were filming, and he really talked a lot about. He did one of the best that I felt for that project, and it was to elaborate the profile of yacht brokers.
Yeah,
and he really talked a lot about how he takes care of his clients, and he talked about that one story which was amazing, where the guy had broken anchor and he needed help, and he called Ed about 2 a.m. and he walked through that story. It was a great, authentic story.
Right.
And here we are, as I was telling you, the project was to create a great profile and bios for the brokers and invite people to get to know the broker. And we felt that it was an authentic way to tell the story is through a podcast for these brokers. And I really believe that we illustrated exactly what we're talking about in that project very well.
I do too.
And I thought that Ed did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And here we have all this content, great marketing, great advertising, all this stuff. But it was real. It was authentic. And it was him really talking about a real story, what he really felt, and how he takes care of the customer.
Right.
What makes him remarkable as a yacht broker.
Yeah. What's the reason to recommend Ed as your yacht broker? Man, he's always there for me 24/7. I called him up at 2 a.m. and he helped me get through this situation.
Absolutely. So I thought that was a great example for what we did. This next one kind of goes along with the Denison Yachting, and I'll explain why I say that. So your business card is your product in print and is a big part of what you sell. What could you change about your business card to make it more remarkable? And so with Denison Yachting, I thought they've done an amazing job with this. And if you look at this card, you can see it's very thick.
Yeah.
And it's touch it and
That's
feel
huge.
it. Now, I'm a big Apple fan. I love the touch and feel of Apple products all the way to their box. But for me, is what I believe is that when you hand this card out to someone, it's going to be remarkable in comparison to any other touch or feel of business card.
Yeah.
It's that much risky. It's different. It's that much different. So I really liked it, and I thought that they had done a great job of
nice and clean
of capturing that. Yeah. Imagine you've woken up as a maverick with no respect for the company and or of the way of doing business as usual with the company. So what would be the first thing that you would do as this maverick about your product?
Interesting.
It is a very interesting, you know, if you could just do anything. For me, I'd go back to that audio visual. You know, I would
Me
make
too.
it, you know, visual reality. I'd throw, you know, everything at it.
Right.
But so for me, it probably wouldn't work that well because, unfortunately, if I was a maverick, I would spend more money than what was reasonable, and I'd make this
Could you imagine
amazing experience.
Oh man, you put on VR goggles and you walk through the yacht.
That's what I mean. You know, and you're touching it, feeling it.
That'd be pretty cool.
Drive it. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and
why not?
Why not? Well, and if you go to the boat shows, so in the yacht industry, one of the things that revolutionized it in the last decade is what we call joystick driving. And so we can take a 56-foot yacht and drive it with a joystick.
Sure.
You know, a 12-year-old kid can dock them better than most adults. It's incredible.
Jeez.
And that's it revolutionized the industry. It was just fun. And so at boat shows, what they would do is they would make a pool of water and they'd take remote control boats and they would show owners how to dock their boats with this remote thing with a joystick.
That's pretty cool.
It was very cool. It's a hands-on. Was it realistic? Probably no, but it did relate the perception and the understanding of how easy it was to control your boat.
Wow.
You know, great ways to illustrate it. So list all of your customers' suggestions and customer complaints you've heard. What would you do to address them? Now, for me, and I'll let you say all of what you want. For me, I'm just going to say this is very simple. This is the best of all tools. I'm the biggest believer in monkey survey. social media. I believe in social media. I believe in paid ads on social media. Don't get me wrong. But I believe the biggest asset of social media today is that you can actually listen to your customers.
Oh, sure.
To me, the most remarkable product is what they want. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Just listen to them and help people get what they want. Something that I've found from Zig Ziglar. And I just really, really believe in that. So for me, this is the most amazing tool of them all.
Yeah.
It's the best one. Listen to your customers.
Right.
They'll tell you what it is that they want, what experience they want,
Yeah.
and how to deliver it to them.
Yeah, I think that goes totally along with what Seth was talking about with criticism. You know, it's like, don't be afraid of criticism, welcome it. And it's just going to help you refine your product, refine whatever you're selling, make the experience better for you to serve your customers. It's only going to help you if you can take it the right way.
Absolutely. Criticism is the best thing that we can have.
Yeah.
Going for our growth.
Right.
It's really difficult without taking criticism, analyzing it, and leaning into it to grow.
Right.
Because that's where growth happens.
Right.
It's to overcoming those challenges. So think about your product in your market with remarkable design. What would you do to make the design of your product worth talking about? So for me, I always go to the Apple.
Yeah.
You know, for me, their box, just the way that they present their product, the touch and feel of the box is incredible.
Yeah.
And so I really believe that they, in the way that they have that touch and feel, and Steve Jobs, I think, is one of the masters in the world on this way to image the product. But for me, that's just a great way for me to make my illustration in the way that I look at how to make make a remarkable design.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, at least for me, you know, and it sounds like you too, like that experience of when you buy that product makes a huge impact on how you feel about that product. Like the box and the packaging and all that with Apple, like the plastic over the keyboard, the little foam, like every little piece, it just makes the experience, you feel like you're buying a nicer product just because of that packaging.
The business card.
Exactly.
The Rydell wine glass.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
You know, there's value to the experience, to the emotional feelings that we get from the products or services. It's not just the functionality.
Right.
There is a lot more value that we get, and a lot of people are not tapping into it.
Harry's Razor, I don't know if you've used them at all, but their packaging is incredible. I love opening
their packaging is incredible. The whole user experience.
Yeah.
That's another great example because I use them.
Yeah,
and
me too.
As a single dad and a business entrepreneur, time is never on my side. And so I'm always trying to find ways to be more innovative in my day, from buying food to shopping for meals to producing the meals to shaving.
Sure.
And so I'm on Harrah's the automatic deal.
Yeah.
So I don't have to pay my invoice. I don't have to get invoiced. I get an email saying that they invoiced me. I paid it automatically, and that I should expect in the next 4 to 5 days my new set of blades, 8 razors. Right. I love the packaging.
Yeah.
I buy the shave cream. I buy the whole kit. I don't worry about my shaving needs.
Yep.
I love their product from A to Z.
It's remarkable.
It is a very remarkable product. I love how the weight of the razor.
I do too. Yeah.
It's a very
they're nice.
Yeah. German produced product.
I remember when I first got mine and I started using it, I was like, this doesn't feel like anything. It's not doing it at all. But it was like a great shave. It was just is better than any other razor I'd ever used.
The German blades.
You couldn't feel it, but it was still cutting. I'm used to ripping my face off, and it was great. I love them.
Yeah. No, I love their products. So remarkable products are often controversial and outrageous. So what would a really controversial or outrageous version of your product look like? Everybody needs to be asked that question.
Yeah.
Don't be safe.
Right.
Be risky. That's the only way to be remarkable today.
Yeah. I think that's true. You know, when I think about us And I don't know if it'll always be this way or will change or adapt or whatever. But right now with our clients, we help them in every aspect of their business when it comes to marketing. Like, we're looking at their website, we're giving them feedback, we're creating video content, we're creating graphics for their ad campaigns, we're creating copy for their ad campaigns, we're all of it. We're looking at their calendars on their website and talking about how it could be more efficient, more effective. And I think that's remarkable because we don't just stop at, and it's the same price. You know, we're looking at everything to help them because we actually care about making the whole experience better. That's
probably the most important thing about what makes us remarkable. And it'll go to why, and I really believe in the Simon Sinek book of just why, but what makes us why. But it is that we do intimately care about what we do. We're very passionate,
right?
And we want to be successful at all costs.
Yeah,
and we're not going to allow money or budget to get in our way to be successful.
Right?
Absolutely not.
Right.
That's great. So, trying to do some brainstorming.
Okay.
Without marketing terms or jargon.
Be hard for you.
It gets in the way of clear thinking about marketing or about making remarkable products. And I really believe, I love this one, and I love most of all of these great nuggets. But the reason that I love this one is because I believe that we, as a company, have tapped into something that is unique and is a way to get that authentic story out naturally, unlike what I see anywhere else.
Okay.
And that's the way we do our podcast.
Sure.
Whether we're actually going to do a podcast ongoing with a client or not.
Right.
That format that we use, I think, is incredible way of bringing out that authentic story.
Yeah.
In helping package that remarkable product.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be really cool, you know, as we get into some of our interviews with business owners, and just really hearing other people's authentic stories. It's just going to help, you know,
absolutely
share our why.
Why I love the podcast, because I believe that it puts them at ease. It takes them off.
Yeah.
They're not trying to create this sizzle in this commercial.
Right.
They're just really talking about themselves, their life, what brought them there.
Yeah.
What created their motivation.
Yep.
Why they do what they do. It really gives you the understanding of how they became the business owner or the CEO.
Right.
And it really gets out of why they do what they do in a natural way.
Yeah.
And I think that we are on the brinks of doing something that is going to be a trendsetter. I really do.
Awesome. Me too.
So think of ways you could build a competition to your own product, which would cost 30% lower. If you could, why don't you? This is a good question, because if you can, why would you not do it? And I hope that, you know, the first answer would be, you know, to me, this is a real basic.
Yeah.
But I loved it, and I wanted to leave it on here. You know, the first thing that tells me is, why would you not do it? Well, I don't want to just do things for the cheapest price. I want to do quality, and I want to have the time allowed to do it right. And I don't want to charge just the cheapest price.
Right.
Never have, never.
Right.
Don't believe that people want that.
Yeah.
I don't think that they want the cheapest price. So, you know, for me, you know, it's a great way to look at it, because if you can, your competitor will do it, and you need to know that.
Yeah.
And so if you could do it, then you need to know why. And if your why is because of this and this and this, and this is what I'm going to give. See, just like you just said, we could be outsourced. I mean, someone could go out and find a vendor just like us.
Sure.
And they may get a little bit better price, this or that.
Yeah.
But the difference is are they going to get really behind the scenes what we get?
Sure.
We go way beyond, and we'll do email campaigns that might take us 6 hours, and we don't charge them for it at all. I promise you, the person that went with a cutthroat, lower, 30% less price,
right,
is not going to give like what you and I are doing.
Yeah.
You know, we'll sit down and we'll go well beyond.
Yeah.
And so I mean, and that's where I think that people need to really sit down and ask yourself, why don't you?
Yes.
And if you don't understand why not, then your clients aren't going to understand.
Right.
They're going to go with a 30% cheaper.
Yep.
Every time.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily, the question isn't trying to prelude to that you should be 30% less.
Right.
I want to make sure that our audience understands that. But you have to understand why you're charging 30% more, because it needs to be part of your messaging.
Yes.
It's got to be a specific reason why. So imagine your product is a person and you have to write a job reference for them. What's worth recommending and what isn't? I think it, and we don't have to get into the exact details.
Sure.
We have many clients in our audience is a little bit diversified in that sense. Works great for some clients not. The follow-up question would be, sticking with the image your product is a person theme, what advice would you give them to help them get a job?
Yeah.
I use the dating scene a lot in regards to walking someone through the sales process, and that's kind of what you know they're wanting you to do, is to relate it to a person. One of the things that he talks a lot about in reference that I'd like to really get into is the sneezer, and what he really, Seth Godin, talks about is the opinion leaders that we've talked about. What he calls them is the sneezers.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
I really believe that that's very, very important.
Right.
To understand. So for me, and what I'd like to kind of end with for myself is, I have a way of looking at it, and I believe that we need to go plant seeds. And what these seeds are is the authentic story planted. And what that is your opinion leaders or your sneezers. And what we do is that we come up with the right messaging through really doing great qualifying, understanding situational questions of our clients, and really understanding their worldview, taking that worldview to their product, a very remarkable product. That's all we want to work with.
Right.
And creating that message and that campaign to sell it to the sneezers or the opinion leaders specifically. Target that market. So we create the word of mouth that generates the success and return on investments for our clients.
Yeah. So he's talking about sneezers, and he calls it creating an idea virus, right? And he says services that are worth talking about get talked about. And so if you have a product that's worth talking about, people are going to talk about it. Essentially, they're going to sneeze it out to other people, and then it starts to spread and create this virus.
Exactly. And
which is what you want.
The reason that I like the seed, and it's exactly, and where I'd like to kind of take Results Media's story is that we plant seeds, and what that is an authentic story in the minds of an opinion leader or a sneezer, and they're going to go out and spread so it's like the trees planted,
right? And
what these sneezers are is the fruit growing. And what the harvest is the actual products and services being sold. Yeah. And I really believe that we have an amazing process. It's just simplified in that way, but I just like to tell it that way because it's the word of mouth. It's that sneezers, as you just talked about, that makes this happen. So if you put all the pieces into place, you have a remarkable product, you have the right campaign, you have the right audience, you know the demographics, you know your worldview, you know your messaging. Yep. You target the opinion leaders, the sneezers, and you put all this into place. The one thing that we know is that the harvest will be very rewarding. Yeah. You will have success. Your return on investment with that significant of a detailed campaign will win.
If you're remarkable, yeah.
If you're remarkable,
right.
Absolutely.
It's good.
Very exciting. This is such fun. Can't wait until the next one. I really believe our next podcast, unless if people suggest different, we're thinking of doing Lynchpin to just kind of
keep the Seth Godin going.
Keep the Seth Godin. We'll probably swap up and go to a few other authors in between, but right now we're going to, I think, finish up with the Lynchpin.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have remarkable products. We have remarkable marketing intro, and we might as well have the remarkable people, the actual linchpins that make it possible.
That's good. Cool. Well, mind if I sign off with 4 quotes from the end of this book?
I would love it.
All right. So Seth Godin says, "Don't be boring. Safe is risky. Design rules now, and very good is bad."